Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining today for our webinar. We've got Grant Stecker from Saunders Inc. here with us, and we are so happy that everyone could join today. And Grant, if you would just go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and also about Saunders as well.
Sure. So I'm with Saunders Construction, and we are a Denver, Colorado-based general contractor. I've been with them for about a little over 11 years, and first 5 years of which I was mostly in the field doing project engineer, project manager, and that gave me a really good insight as to the field side of looking at drawings from a pre-construction or from a field lens, taking that into pre-construction, and then since then I've been in our pre-construction office, and my current role is as a pre-construction manager. And Saunders, we primarily work around the Front Range in Denver. We've got an office that's in the northern Colorado region of Fort Collins under Saunders Heath, and we have a southern Colorado office as well, titled Saunders Norwood in Colorado Springs. So primarily up and down the Front Range. We don't venture too far outside of the state too often. We do some mountain work out of this central Denver office, and our outfit has been around for this year will be our 50th anniversary. So we've been around quite a while.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for that background, and we're excited to hear more today. We'll get the conversation started, and we'll go through just a couple of topics that we wanted to share with you all today. So Grant, one of the first topics we'll be covering is, given the nature of your particular role at Saunders, would you please share a little bit more about what estimating means to you and what you think about the current landscape?
Sure. So I'll start off by saying a lot of the types of work that at least this main office gets is mostly negotiated type work early on in design, probably right after clients have brought on a design team. So still in a conceptual stage, maybe through schematics stage. Very rarely do we do a hard bid type project. Conversely, up north in Saunders Norwood or Saunders Heath, they do mostly hard bid type work. So there's a balance there between what types of projects we are able to negotiate and which types of projects we pursue from a hard bid stage. So that being said, a lot of my involvement in pre-construction is very early on in the design phase, and that allows for me to be somewhat of a trusted advisor to our clients and provide them with the information they need from a budget standpoint and from feedback of the current marketplace to really shape and mold the project to what will fit within the budget. And it gives us an opportunity to work early on with a lot of different design partners in the Denver Front Range area, and partnership with them, collaborate with them, and in the same breath allows us to talk a lot with our subcontractor community to get that market feedback and current landscape feedback to then feed into our clients and our design team partners. Obviously, I think probably most people on the call right now are hearing and understanding the impacts of escalation that has hit the marketplace over the past 16 months. You know, we pretty consistently have seen a 1% per month increase since COVID has hit, and it has not gone down or slowed down. I'd say it's slowed down a little bit, but it has not gone down, and we're still having to report to our clients that that's the current landscape.
Great, that's awesome to hear. Just your insight around what's been going on, and we certainly understand the uptick in activity, and I know that there's been a lot happening, so appreciate your input on that. We also just wanted to kind of gauge and learn a little bit more around the ways that you're utilizing our current DESTINI Estimator product to enhance and support what you're currently working on, and then projects that you might be working on in the future, your experience and just how our products have helped you out.
Sure. I think there's a lot to unpack there. First, I'll start off by, we've been using the DESTINI system for not quite a year, maybe 8-10 months since it was fully kind of deployed to our department. And prior to that, we were using sort of a proprietary Excel estimating platform that we had internally developed over the course of the last 20-something years. And with current demands of clients and the transformation on what is being expected of us, we started looking at alternate solutions to go to more of a database-driven platform so that we could show our estimates in a multitude of different ways, as well as harness the power of assemblies and having that kind of access to our database. So recently, I mean, especially in pre-construction, whatever our estimate platform is, it's central and paramount to everything that we do on a day-to-day basis. And I would say a huge part of that, especially in today's marketplace and the landscape that we all are experiencing, quickness is very key, but also having a high level of certainty and accuracy in that efficiency. And I would say the assembly build and what we've partnered with Beck to build our assemblies off of has been a huge time saver without sacrificing really any accuracy. I think that's been a paramount part of our day-to-day operations with the DESTINI product. I think a lot of people will understand that in this current market landscape, there's projects that get pushed off and shifted a little bit, and it starts stacking workload on all of the projects that we're working on. When we thought previously we could kind of phase in other projects and phase out of other projects accordingly, but if things start shifting and things need more value engineering or what have you to bring budgets down, you start getting stacked on all the projects that you're working on, and being able to be really efficient with all those different projects is really important. So assemblies is one thing that I would say definitely helps out with that. And I mentioned earlier our ability now to flip the data of our estimates in any which way that an owner would require and ask for with the work breakdown structure of DESTINI, and having every line item have several different properties that is in uniformat or master format or CSI section or anything that is very custom to the project itself. Being able to show that very quickly is very important to getting an owner to even at first step agree and understand where the numbers are laying. And then I would say that the recent update with the automatic pricing update has also helped with just that gaining efficiencies in building an estimate, having less clicks, less pop-ups, less dialog boxes that you have to exit out of. Everything's a lot more readily available on your home screen and home interface that just saves, I mean, in times it saves merely seconds, but those seconds add up to minutes, minutes add up to hours, and it just overall through the course of the week can build a lot more efficiency without, like I said, sacrificing too much accuracy. So I can't say enough about how paramount our estimating platform is to this group, and how much DESTINI and Beck have aided in those efficiencies.
Awesome. And we know and value how important data is to our customers, and you even highlighting the need for quick and accurate data to come in to be able to keep projects moving within your day-to-day. We know how important that is. So it's great of you to be able to highlight that. And I think that leads us into our next question, and our next topic is around what you all are currently doing at Saunders in order to continue the forward progression of learning and education around the future of estimating and pre-construction in general. Anything that you all might be doing innovative-wise at Saunders that you might be able to share.
Sure. Yeah, I think one of the things that we really started talking about when we were exploring a new estimating platform was high value tasks versus low value tasks, and trying to reduce, probably won't eliminate, but reduce significantly the amount of low value tasks that goes into building an estimate, and all of the different parts and pieces of that. And the huge piece of that is you know, recreating the wheel and doubling work, or manual data entry from a takeoff to an estimate, or tying different estimate items together to kind of create a makeshift assembly. You know, a lot of that stuff just takes time, and it's just low value time that doesn't that isn't worth as much as what you're putting into. And so I think with the estimating platform that DESTINI has right now, that has definitely been a huge benefit to see, where we can spend less time doing those low value tasks and more time focusing on the high value tasks, like reanalyzing the estimate in a multitude of different ways through, you know, uniformat, and seeing if it makes sense for different project comparables, and spending more time with subcontractors to understand what numbers are being put into their proposals, and why, and what's going on in their worlds with market trends. Spending more times with our design teams and understanding, you know, like I said, we get brought on very early where we have to make a whole lot of assumptions with an SD or a DD set. Having more time to spend with the design team to understand and fine tune the estimate based on their vision of what they're seeing, rather than just throwing a massive allowance at the estimate. So I think, you know, spending more time around current market trends, I think that those are definitely a tip of the iceberg, ways that we are trying to eliminate and reduce those low value tasks. And then I think that our department is one that our company in general actually, that embraces and encourages innovation and constantly trying to find better ways and more efficient ways to do a job. We have what's called an innovation award quarterly that, you know, folks submit on, and they get, you know, a $100 gift card to something, just for continuing to think about bettering themselves, bettering their departments, and bettering the company as a whole.
Incredible. That's awesome, and thank you so much for all that information. I think for those who are watching along today, it's so important to emphasize the fact that, you know, innovation is key when it comes to moving the needle forward, and it's certainly represented in the work that you all are doing at Saunders, and being able to utilize our products as well. I know we've talked a lot about your day-to-day role, your team, and also Saunders as a whole, but and just trends as well. But would love to be able to, in the time that we have left, have you share a little bit more. We know that Saunders is turning 50 and celebrating the 50th anniversary. And I think that it's very important to highlight one of the key programs that you all have, which is the Building Confidence in Kids. So if you could just share a little bit about what you all might be doing to bring in your 50th, and then also a little bit more about that program as well. I'm sure folks would really love to hear more around that.
Sure. So we've been kind of having somewhat quarterly frequent celebrations throughout the year with different entities around the Denver area that have been a huge part of our success over the past 50 years. And, you know, you can look at that from a subcontractor network standpoint, and us celebrating with that group specifically, celebrating with our design team partners around the Denver metro area that we've partnered with in endless jobs over the past 50 years. Celebrating with a lot of our clients, especially repeat clients that we have had over the past 50 years. You know, and then even through different community type drive things that we've done over the past 50 years. And one of those being a program that was developed not 50 years ago, but sometime between now and then, I want to say maybe 20 or so years ago, a program that's called Building Confidence in Kids, which is BCIK. And that really started to tackle the community aspect of our mission, You know, we always felt like if we're building in a certain area, we should be also involved in that community. And that program has every 2 years we seek out kind of a nonprofit that we can partner with that gives all of our employees an avenue to volunteer in and to be a part of that community for a couple years. And then there's a whole committee that looks at what type of events we can set up. Is it going out and building something with them? Is it going out and just doing like a food drive or whatever they are specifically involved in, helping with whatever those day-to-day operations are. This year, I think this year and next year, we're partnered with the Colorado I Have a Dream Foundation, which I'm sure everybody's very familiar with the I Have a Dream foundations and different networks. And so whatever they are doing, we're offering our employees a chance to go and be a part of their community, volunteer with them, so that they can feel connected in that environment, so that when they do see the Saunders signs all over the town and Saunders cranes up in the air, they understand that we have shared values with being a part of the community and building our reputation for everyone that sees that. So very important staple and pillar of what Saunders is about and what our culture is about.
Amazing. Grant, this has been a wonderful conversation. I think that in order for us to wrap this up and be able to share a little bit more with folks that might be watching along today, what is one key takeaway that you hope folks will really lean into in pre-construction estimating moving forward? I know we talked a lot about innovation. We talked a lot about data analysis and being quick and nimble. But what do you think will be one key focal point that folks will really want to keep in their back pocket as we move forward into the rest of this year?
I think that a key takeaway is that the power of assemblies is very incredible. That can save a lot of time and can make you very efficient with a high level of accuracy. If you have an estimate platform that can't harness that or doesn't do that, that is a huge piece of what DESTINI offers that I think is an absolute game changer. And we are continuing to build those assemblies for all different types of product types and different types of assembly builds. And we are not a cookie cutter shop. You know, we do everything under the sun, with the exception of single family residential and heavy highway. And I think even at that, we've done one or two of those, but no project is the same that we've done. And those assemblies still have a lot of value from one project to the next. So I think that's an incredibly powerful tool that people should embrace and look into. And I would say another piece of this that we didn't necessarily talk about, but the focus around a database-driven platform. You know, what we had before with an Excel type platform and trying to look back 5 years at certain projects or 10 years at certain projects and compare, you know, that's an effort. That's a pretty big effort to do that if we're going after a job that's very similar, and we need to escalate that to today's dollars. And was it built in a fashion that we can leverage that information quickly and easily? I think that you know, admittedly so, even on my side with estimates that I've done in the previous platform, just didn't put in as much information as was required to look at 5 years down the road and say, how does this compare to what we're seeing in the current marketplace? And what a database-driven platform does is it kind of forces your hand to do that, and it keeps everything centralized so that you can easily pick and choose from projects 5, 10, 15 years ago, escalate them very quickly to today's dollars, and provide feedback to potential clients that are looking for conceptual estimate numbers for a very similar type project. So I think that has power in itself, that again, low value task, high value task, it allows us to focus on the higher value tasks of having that conversation with potential clients and repeat clients for what their project needs to look like. And the dynamics of the DESTINI system, I think, provide that a lot better than what we were previously doing.
Great, coming in strong there towards the end of our time with some real knowledge bombs there. Appreciate you sharing that with us, and we feel the same way about just smart estimating and conceptual estimating as well, and having that database of knowledge. Again, everyone, thank you so much for joining today. Thank you to our panelist, Grant Stucker from Saunders. Thank you so much, Grant. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and take care.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.